What's up, guys? Welcome back. Tailboard Misfits Podcast, episode number 16. Today, we're talking with Nathan Pipps. He's an 8-year firefighter from Port Arthur, Texas, where he's passionate about engine work and primary search. He's also very passionate about our why and the sole reason behind our existence. He's also the training e-board member of the Spindletop Fools, and what we're getting ready to talk about right now is the For Them Fire Conference, which he is helping put on this year. Nathan, bro, how's it going?
Man, it's going great.
Good. We're kind of like getting through some technical difficulties with internet. And I say it all the time, but the worst thing to do is hand firemen technology and tell them to figure it out because it doesn't work that well.
That's right.
So let's talk about the conference, man. It's November 8th, 9th, and 10th. It's the For Them Fire Conference. And sales are going pretty good for you guys already. As of the recording right now, you guys only have 5 full conference passes remaining. As well as a bunch of lecture passes you guys still have available. So, For Them Fire Conference, man, where did it start at?
So this is going to be our second year. We had our first year last year. It started off called the Golden Triangle Hot. It was just going to be, a little hands-on training from Kevin Pfluger and his guys. And I thought about, maybe what if Justin Hanley and them came out and did some search stuff. And it just kind of came together. And then we added on some lecture to that and just made one big For Them conference last year. And it turned out really well. And you'll see with all of our lectures and hot classes, they all have a very similar theme. And that's the best decisions we can make for them, through engine work and search and how our tactics need to handle that.
Yeah, so you talked about it was called the Golden Triangle Hot. And so was that open to just about anybody, or was it just some local departments that are getting together to train?
At first, it was just some local departments, but then we opened it up for everybody.
Okay, so with the Golden Triangle Hot and then last year's For Them conference, how many years? Is this technically 3 years, or is this the second?
No, it's still just second. Last year, when it was being developed, it was called Golden Triangle Hot until the newer title came out.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, now I get it now. So we're going to kind of go through the entire weekend of classes and that y'all have lined up. And so we were kind of talking about it earlier, the keynote speaker. Who's the keynote speaker, and what do you think we have to look forward to there?
It's going to be Chief Tom Hollick. And man, he's making something special for the keynote this year. It's going to be from his heart and what For Them means to him. So I'm beyond ready and excited to hear it. I know everybody else will too. I know he's going to kill it.
Yeah, and you mentioned that this was his first keynote speech, or it will be his first keynote speech, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so I got to meet Tom just briefly. Those guys were stupid busy down at Dagum. He seems like a stand-up guy. The guys he puts himself around, I know several of them personally. And if they say anything about him, I mean, it's all good. It's all good. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Hell yeah.
So moving on, as the first lecture of the day, you guys got a lineup of pretty good, heavy hitters. When it comes to the first class, you guys have Cody Trestrail, and he's delivering a 4-hour presentation, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So Cody Trestrail's given a 4-hour presentation. Have you gotten the opportunity to see Cody of any Cody's classes yet?
Yes. So I attended the 3-day search school that they had in 22. It was up there in Dallas, Fort Worth area. And it was phenomenal. It was 2 of the Brothers in Battle classes with the search cadre with Sean Duffy and the Build Your Culture cadre. So it was a lot of fun. Cody gave speeches, him kicking off every day. And it was, man, he's phenomenal. So I know there's something special coming this year. For sure.
Yeah, I've gotten the opportunity to listen to Cody talk. I heard one of his lectures down at Joey D Days this past year, and he's such a dynamic speaker, and you could just tell how passionate he is. And something that I just really appreciate about him is just like he's super unapologetic about what he believes in. And I think for that, it just drives it home.
Yeah. And he hits some truth bombs. That's what it is, man. They're right in your face and you can't deny it because he's got the facts.
That's true. And I think for anyone that, like, not saying anything like about the other instructors, but just my opinion, Cody, and the way he teaches and the way he talks and his classes, every single one he gives you, that is worth, like, that holds the own value right there. That's worth the entire conference, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's just one of your instructors. And so right after Cody, you guys are this is just day one, obviously. You guys are gonna break for lunch. And then who's coming in for the afternoon?
So after lunch, we're going to have Kyle Romagus, and he's going to deliver a 2-hour special presentation. It hasn't been given anywhere else before. As far as I know, he doesn't even have a working title yet. So, but it's going to be interesting, man. Listening to his previous lectures, I know he's going to kill it, and it's going to be well worth it.
Yeah. So one cool thing about Chief Romagus is I think it's super important to understand, like, not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it. And he breaks it down to such an intellectual level for you to truly be able to understand it. And it gets nerdy, right? Like, it really does get nerdy. But I mean, Cruel Intentions, right? Talking about all the nozzles and everything with water and all that stuff like that. I mean, I can't imagine what he's putting together for this one.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be well worth it. I mean, just coming out just for a lecture day, you're going to be taking home so many nuggets, it's unreal.
And do you know off the top of your head, do y'all have a cap for your lecture passes?
No, we have no cap.
So it's going to be open till it's not.
That's correct. We'll say about a week before, just so we have a final list.
Sure. Okay. And so after Chief Romagus, who's bringing it home on the afternoon?
So we're going to have LJ Geist. He's going to deliver a 1.5 hour to 2 hour presentation to wrap up the day. So we don't have a title for that one as well, but
I've heard some of the stuff he's put out, and actually one of my good friends, Preston Lyons, he's doing as we speak, doing a podcast with him right now, which I'm also looking forward to because his tailboard leadership stuff is awesome. And I know he's a big phenomenal engine nerd as well. So after the lecture day, I know for conferences, the brotherhood part and some of the relationships you build at these classes and at these conferences are honestly what keeps bringing some of the people back, right? I know you guys have something planned. I know the details aren't finalized yet because we're sitting in the middle of May right now, and we still have till November. But after the lecture day, I know you guys have a social plan for that. What do the guests have to look forward to at the social?
So at the social, we're going to be around like-minded brothers from all across the country. And not only that, we're going to have a roundtable podcast with Tailboard Misfits with all of our instructors. And it gives us all a chance to, have some drinks together and have food, break bread, and we can actually, dig into each other's heads and learn some cool stuff and, see where everything goes.
I'm super excited about that. And I'm really honored that you guys even considered me. And the podcast is going to be cool. The roundtable is going to be awesome. But the socials at these conferences and these classes, honestly, like, man, you can't really beat that because you're getting so much out of these instructors during their presentations. But then afterwards, when they kind of like turn off I don't want to say that they're a different person, but you get to just pick their brain just a little bit more. You probably get to ask a little bit more personal questions. And then you can totally follow up with maybe a specific situation that you may or may not be in and let those guys help you because, I mean, they're instructors for a reason and they're giving lectures for a reason. And some of these guys are considered subject matter experts in their field. And obviously during their lectures, they don't have time to field every single question that the audience might have. You know what I mean? So getting around them and getting away from the class part of it, I think that's super valuable for these people. And if anyone's listening to this that's going to be at the conference and someone told me this one time, and it was just like, man, they're just firemen. Like, I used to kind of get starstruck, and I still do a little bit, right? But they're just firemen. Go up and talk to them. That's what's cool about the socials, is just being able to hang around the, Chief Romagus or the Cody Trestrails, and just being able to talk to them. And it may not even be fire service related, but just being able to have a conversation with them. Because at the end of the day, they're just dudes, but they're firemen.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, we're all brothers, and it seems like every time I would go out and attend outside training, like we would come together, my fellow brothers from my department, we would go and attend, and we would build relationships that strengthen not only our bonds together, uh, which is just phenomenal, but now we're building them, across departments and across state lines and international. And you cannot beat these relationships. It's amazing. And like you said, you're just relating on a fireman level. We're not any better than one another, and it's awesome to hear the same, my same problems that you have, and we can relate on that aspect.
Yeah,
So
I couldn't agree more. I think one of the cool things about it is, and I'll tell a personal story. Like, I went to the Denver Mile High Conference last year, and I got to talk with Chief, Kyle Romagus for a while, and I was telling him, like, man, I feel like I've gotten the stretch down. Like, I'm still practicing it. All right. Like, what's next, though? And he gave me a couple pieces of advice. He said, start working on like bulk bed deployments, like extended stretches, and start like working through like possibly doing lines over ladders. Right. And I was like, okay, that takes something back for me to go work on, and really just split up the monotony of pulling the pre-connect every time. And a couple weeks later, we trained on it, and we did I think we were just doing like a search training, but it was like an all-encompassing drill, and we practiced the whole lines over ladders thing. And then maybe 2 weeks after that, we catch a fire in a balloon frame where the stairs had burned out, and we went lines over ladders for that, and I was able to take a picture of it and send it to him and ask him questions about that, right? Like, that was a connection that I never would have had if I wouldn't have just talked to him after that at the social.
Absolutely.
And those are the kind of things that really, like, the classes are awesome and the socials are great. They're great for those specific things. So moving on to the hot day, the 2 hot days. Once again, it's November 8th, 9th, and 10th. The lectures are November 8th. The social is going to be November 8th. And moving on to the hot days, I know you guys have a couple different tracks. Let's just give a brief overview of both of those.
All right. So, we're running 2 hot tracks. Our first one that we have is called Put Them First. It is a first due engine company track. We brought it out last year, and all the attendees, they loved it. We even have people coming back, quite a few people coming back, taking that again this year. So we had really, really good feedback, and it covers a lot of topics, such as our short staff engine company, 3-man engine company. Well, you're due to a house fire, right? With entrapment. So we have fire, we have victims, we have a locked door, we got to deploy the line. We can get it done with just a 3-man engine company. And this will give you the tools to accomplish that. So it's going to have live victims.
And who is
flowing water? It's a good time, man.
Who's teaching that track?
So that's going to be Kevin Pfluger and his guys with your hose. We're going to have forcible entry. That's going to be Captain Joshua Restweber from Port Arthur Fire Department, and the Woods forcible entry door guys. And then we're also going to have, victim on the nozzle and engine-based search with James Nisbet and Timothy McGoo. And man, it's going to be good.
I mean, yeah, getting some hands-on training with some of the guys you just named, like that's an amazing experience that these guys are going to get.
Yep. And then to wrap it up, we're going to have some scenarios that's going to put it all to the test. And so these are 10 to 12-hour days, and it's designed that way to get some of that mental fatigue aspect in, right? And this is where you have to start digging deep and get into your mindset. And this is building up realistic conditions. So, and this is why it's designed that way, with the scenarios at the end.
I always enjoy those classes that you kind of it brings the whole point of the crawl, walk, run, right? You might start out the day doing
Exactly.
a couple specific skills, right? And then by the end of the day, you're throwing it all together in scenarios and doing it
Right.
multiple times to get lots of reps. And with 10 to 12
Right.
hour days, man, like these guys are going to work.
Oh, that's it, man. And that's part of our philosophy is, we're putting in all this work. This weekend is for them. That's what we're about, man.
And
no
so,
ego,
the
lots of
other
work,
hot track.
blue collar conference.
I like that a lot. The so the second day, the second hot day, or the second hot track, I'm sorry. What does that look like?
All right. So our second hot track is the search, all in for them. And this is going to give you a lot of search tools. It's all beyond the book. It's basics, but it's not what's being taught in your textbook class, your fire academies. And so this is going to give a lot of tools to hopefully impact victim survivability and confidence when performing your searches. Now, a lot of this stuff could be controversial, right? We're talking about split searches and window entered search and going beyond that door and extending the search, and how we can make a bigger impact and starting to perform those tasks at a safe level. So we're bringing the skill,
What
bringing statistics. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, I like that a lot. What is, or who is the instructors for that track?
So this one's going to be stacked full of instructors. So we're going to have, the trainer cadre. We're going to have Justin Hanley with Roughneck Firemanship and Build Your Culture cadre. He's probably bringing another guy. We're going to have Sandy O'Malley, who is Bearers of the Oath cadre. We're also going to have the Citizens First Fire Training cadre. So Chris Kessinger, Joey Ostendorf, Robert Vasquez, and Josh Wheeler. And man, there's probably some more guys that I'm forgetting about, honestly. Old David Mellon's coming out. Unfortunately, Justin Lorenzen, he was supposed to come out, and he had, some work-life issues going on, and that's no problem. And hey, on the off chance that he can make it, I offered to him. I said, hey, you can still come out, But with David Mellon, if you haven't heard the stories,
you sent me a list.
If you haven't heard the stories about David Mellon, we're bringing the intensity with the realism. Promise you.
Well, you sent me a list, and there's a ton of guys, and I know on the Facebook page you guys are announcing like every single one of them. So if you want a complete list, just check out the For Them Fire Conference Facebook page, because it's a long list of just some like heavy hitters, some guys I've never met before but have heard that are just super solid, bang up dudes. I'm looking forward to meeting them, hopefully when I get down there, because you don't get that many people all in one place very often.
Yep, absolutely. So something else we're doing is we're also going to have a brotherhood social night on the 7th, right? We're going to have build out of all of our props that day before the lecture. And so we're going to do that, but we're also going to include 2 lectures from Sandy O'Malley. So he's just now breaking out into giving lectures, and I thought it was a perfect opportunity. And we might have something from James Nesbitt. So, that's 2 extra lectures, because we're going to have a full day on lecture day, but it's an extra opportunity to get some more nuggets, break bread with our brothers and share drinks, have a good time. And we're going to open it up to everybody. Like, you don't even have to have a conference pass or whatever. Just come out, free lectures, have some drinks, have some food, have a good time, man. That's what it's all about.
That's awesome. I got to meet Sandy down at Dagum too. He seems like a super stand-up guy. And then James, I've never met him, but I want to meet him. I'm excited for that, because I think he's got probably a couple. I could be mistaken, but the FireX talks on YouTube, some of his are stupid good, man. Like really, really
gold.
good.
Hey, that's how first
They're
time I heard
they're awesome.
was that. That's how I learned about it. Yep. I said I like the way this guy thinks.
And
I want him to come teach our guys.
yeah, well, you got a good one coming because that you got a lot of good guys coming down for a conference, right? And just to reiterate, you only have 5, but let's try to sell the rest of them. November 8th, 9th, and 10th, and it's in Port Arthur, Texas. So you have the whole day of lecture, and then you have 2 hot tracks, not to mention the socials. Are you guys planning anything after the 9th and the 10th, or is it just like the 7th and 8th, like you said?
No, just the 7th and 8th. After the 10th, that's going to be it. I mean, we'll probably have a little bit of brotherhood. You know, we'll all meet up somewhere. But man, after 10, 12 hours, sometimes you just want to, grab a quick bite to eat. And we're going to get ready for the next day.
Yeah, no, I agree because those 12-hour days make for a long day, and a lot of times I'm getting older in my old age, right? And
Yeah.
a 10 or 12-hour day might put me to bed by 8:30. Who knows? So I'm trying to see if I missed anything with the conference, and like I said, or like you said earlier, on the 8th is the social after the lectures, which
Yeah.
I'd imagine hopefully there'll be a lot more people there for people coming into town the day of the lectures.
Yeah.
We are going to be doing a roundtable talk with a bunch of the cadre members. We're still working out the details on that and what that's going to look like, but we want to get the word out there early for it so people can plan to come and have your questions ready, right? Because that's another fun thing, and we don't want just me up there rambling trying to ask every single one of these guys questions. We want to open it up to everybody for questions. We want Nathan Pipps to talk to him and ask him questions. So the For Them Fire Conference, November 8th, 9th, and 10th in Port Arthur, Texas. We want to get as many firemen as we can because at these conferences and these classes, man, the most important thing is just attendance and what people can leave and take back with them nugget-wise to their departments. The big thing about it is there's lectures and there's hands-on. So hopefully you gain as much knowledge as you do skill acquisition during those hot days, as well as just build some relationships, make some friends, and some connections from all over the state of Texas, as well as outside of the state of Texas during those brotherhood socials. So Nathan, man, I appreciate you coming on, talking with us about the For Them Fire Conference. I'm looking forward to being down there. I'm looking forward to meeting a bunch of new people. Conferences are one of my favorite things to go to, especially with some of the lineup or with the majority of the lineup that you have. They're all freaking awesome, and I'm looking really forward to it. So, Nathan, anything else you got before we go?
No, man, you pretty much hit on it. Man, I had a blast. I'm looking forward to you coming out. Looking forward to November. Man, a lot of love and passion is being poured into this thing, I promise.
Absolutely, man. Once again, guys, thank you. Be on the lookout for them Fire Conference. Go follow them on Facebook. Go look at their all of their cadre members they have coming, all the instructors they have coming, and then make sure you show up for the socials on the 7th and 8th. Those should be a really great time. TBM, man, we're moving right along. We have a list of some guests we got coming on. We're about to do a revamp of the website, so you'll probably see it shut down here pretty soon just to kind of revamp it. And we got a bunch of really cool things in the works. We're looking forward to sharing it with you. I want to keep it under wraps for just a little bit longer. But look for us out at the For Them Fire Conference. We'll be out there, especially for the roundtable talk. We will be there. We'll probably be there the 7th. I'll probably show up early for that first social as well, too. So catch us that weekend. Stay tuned for more upcoming guests, man. We're super excited to see where this keeps going. We appreciate you listening. We will catch you on the next one.